This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information and to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read and recorded by Betsy Bush, Marquette, Michigan, October 2006. Gawayne and the Green Knight, a Fairy Tale, by Charlton Minor Lewis. Canto 3. Gawayne. O Muse! But no, heaven knows I need a muse. But which of all the nine, pray, should I choose? Thalia, Clio, and Melpomene, I love them all, but none, alas, loves me. For if you want a muse to take your part, you must be solely hers with all your heart. And I have mingled since my earliest youth my smiles and tears, my fictions and my truth. Nay, in this very tale, scarce yet half done, I've courted all the nine, and so won none. Not for me, therefore, the Parnassian lyre, or winged war horse shod with heavenly fire. Harsh numbers flow from throats whose thirst has been a whole life long unslacked of Hippocrene. But I will e'en go on as best I can, and let the story end as it began. A plain, straightforward man's unvarnished word, part sad, part sweet, and part of it absurd. A year passed by as years are wont to do, winter and spring, summer and autumn too, till mid-December's flaw-blown flakes of snow warned Gawayne that the time was come to go to the green chapel by the murmuring mere, and take again the blow he gave last year. In the great court his charger stamped the ground, while knights and weeping ladies thronged around to arm him, as the custom was of yore, and bid him sad farewell for evermore. One face alone in all that bustling throng our hero's eyes sought eagerly, and long sought vainly, for the Lady Elfinhart, debating with herself, stood yet apart. But as Sir Gawayne gathered up his reins, and bade the drawbridge warden loose the chains, suddenly Elfinhart stood by his side, her fair face flushed with love and joy and pride. She plucked a sprig of holly from her gown and looked up, questioning, and he leaned down, and so she placed it in his helm. No word might Gawayne's lips then utter, but he heard the voice that was his music, and could feel the touch of gentle fingers through the steel. Wear this, Sir Gawayne, for a loyal friend whose hopes and prayers go with you to the end. And staying not for answer she withdrew, and in the throng was lost to Gawayne's view. He roused himself, and waving high his hand, struck spur and so rode off toward Fairyland. Long time he travelled by an unknown way, unhoused at night, companionless by day. The cold sleet stung him through his shirt of mail, but underneath his stout heart would not fail, but beat full measure through the fiercest storm, and kept his hand clear and his brave soul warm. No need to tell the perils that he passed. He conquered all, and came unscathed at last to where a high embattled castle stood, deep in the heart of a dense willow wood. And Gawayne called aloud, and to the gate a smiling porter came, who opened straight and bade him enter in and take his rest. And Gawayne entered, and the people pressed about him with fair speeches, and he laid his armor off, and gave it them, and prayed that they would take his message to their lord, prayer for friendly shelter, bed, and board. He told them whence he was, his birth and name, and the bold baron of the castle came, a mighty man, huge-limbed, with flashing eyes, and welcomed him with old-time courtesies, for manners in those days were held of worth, and gentle breeding went with gentle birth. He heartily was glad his quest had come, and made Sir Gawayne feel himself at home. And as they walked in, side by side, each knew the other for an honest man and true. That night our hero and the baron ate a sumptuous dinner in the hall of state, and all the household ranged along the board made good cheer with Sir Gawayne and their lord, and passed the brimming bowl right merrily, with friendly banter and quick repartee. And Gawayne asked if they had chanced to hear of a green chapel by a murmuring mere, and straightway all grew grave. Within his breast Sir Gawayne felt a tremor of unrest, but told his story with a gay outside, and asked for some good men to be his guide to find his foe. "I promised him," said he, "no golden guerdon; his reward shall be the unconsciousness that unto him 'twas given to show a parting soul the way to heaven." Up jumped his host. "My friend, I like your attitude, and know no surer way to win heaven's gratitude than sending thither just such men as you. I'll be your guide; but since you are not due at the green chapel till 3 nights from now, and since the way is short, I'll tell you how the interim may be disposed of best. In short, let me propose a merry jest." At this Sir Gawayne gave a sudden start, for some old memory seemed to clutch his heart, and in the baron's eyes he seemed to see a twinkling gleam of green benignity, not wholly strange, but like a flash 'twas gone. Gawayne sank back, and his good host went on. "2 days you sojourn here, and while I take my daily hunting in the wood, you make my house and castle yours, and then each night we'll meet together here at candlelight. And all my winnings in the wood, and all that comes to you at home, whatever befall you, we'll give each other in exchange. In fine, my fortune shall be yours, and yours be mine." To Gawayne this seemed generous indeed, and with most cordial laughter he agreed. They clasped hands o'er the bargain with good zest, and then all said good night and went to rest. Next morning Gawayne was awakened early from a deep slumber by the hurly-burly of footman, horseman, seneschal, and groom, bustling beneath the windows of his room. He rose and looked out, just in time to see the baron and a goodly company of huntsmen, armed with crossbow, axe, and spear, ride through the castle gate and disappear. And then, while Gawayne dressed, there came a knock upon his chamber door. He threw the lock, and a boy page brought robes of ermine fur and Tarsix silk, black, white, and lavender, for his array, and with them a kind message, which the good knight received with no ill presage. "Will brave Sir Gawayne spare an idle hour for quiet converse in my lady's bower?" The boy led on, and Gawayne followed him, through crooked corridors and archways dim, along low galleries echoing from afar, and down a winding stair. Then, "Here we are!" the page cried cheerily, and paused before the massive carvings of an antique door. This he swung open, and the knight passed through into a garden, fresh with summer dew. A lady's bower in fairyland! What pen could make that strange enchantment live again? Not he who drew Acacia's